Hello everyone. Today in this video we'll try to solve CTET question paper of 2019, July 2019. This is paper 2 and we'll solve the 30 questions of the child development and pedagogy section. So let us start from question number 1. Question number 1 is read the following description and identify the stage of moral reasoning of Kohlberg. So we have to read this description and try to identify which stage of moral development out of those 6 stages of Kohlberg is this. So right action, the description is right action is defined by self-chosen ethical principles. Self-chosen ethical principles of conscience that are valid for all humanity regardless of law and social agreement. So we can clearly understand that if someone is choosing the right action by his own self-chosen ethical principles regardless of any social laws and social orders, so this is clearly the universal ethical principle orientation, this stage of moral development. Option 4. Then question number 2, one of the major accomplishments of concrete operational stage. Concrete operational stage, if you can remember, in the job Piaget's stages of cognitive development, concrete operational stage come at third stage. So what was the characteristics of concrete operational stage? Look, animistic thinking comes in the second stage, pre-operational stage, animism. So this will not be the correct option. Ability to conserve, this is the correct option, because the child do not have any conservation ability at the second stage, that is pre-operational stage, but this comes at the concrete operational stage. Ability to conserve comes at concrete operational stage. Hypothetical deductive thinking comes at fourth stage. Secondary circular orientation first stage. So ability to conserve is the correct option. Then constructivists such as Joe Piaget and Lev Vygotsky view learning as what? What is the main motto of constructivism? Constructivist theory of learning. Was it acquisition of skills, conditioning of responses? This is not correct. Conditioning of responses is according to behaviorism. Passive repetitive process, no. Process of meaning making by active engagement, this is the correct option. Option 4 is the correct option, because constructivism says that the child or the learner construct his or her knowledge. Then number 4, selecting and presenting stories and clippings from newspaper that portray both men and women in non-traditional roles is an effective strategy. So you are selecting some stories or clippings from newspapers or movies, and which are showing that men and women are equal, men and women are playing some non-traditional roles. For example, men is doing the nursing type of thing, women are playing games, this type of things you are showing. So what you are doing actually? Are you promoting gender bias? No. Promote gender constancy? No. Encouraging stereotypal gender roles? I am doing against this stereotypal gender roles. So I am countering gender stereotypes. Countering. Then question number 5, which of the following play an important role in a child's socialization? Media, school, family, neighborhood. All 4 play important role in the socialization process of a child. Out of this, family is the primary socializing agents and media, school, neighborhood are secondary socializing agents. We know that. So all 4. That means these options 1, 2, 3 and 4. Option 4 is the correct option. Then question number 6. As per Howard Gardner's theory of multiple intelligence, how would the intelligence of a person with the following characteristics be categorized? So here is some characteristics. We have to find out which of the 8 multiple intelligence type of intelligence that was given by Howard Gardner. We have to read this and find that out. Ability to detect and respond appropriately to the moods, temperaments, motivations and intention of others. So someone has the ability to detect and respond, means to understand and accordingly respond to what? Moods, temperaments, motivation, intention. Means someone is understanding others and understanding the temperament and mood of others and accordingly interacting with others. So what type of intelligence he is having? He is having naturalistic, no. Therapeutic, no. Out of intra and inter, which one will be correct? Interpersonal, because someone is interacting with others, understanding others, so interpersonal. Then question number 7, which of the following should be the reasons of assessment of children? Look, we do assessment in school, but what is the main aim of doing these assessments? To separate and label children into non-achievers, low achievers, average and high achievers? No, we do not do the assessments to separate them, to label them. You are low achievers, you are high achievers. Not this type of things. To improve teaching learning process in the classroom, very much. This is the main motto of assessment. Main aim of assessment is to improve the teaching learning process, to rectify the teaching learning process if there is any fault. Then to find out what changes and progress in learning that takes place in the child over a period of time, very much true. This is very much true, because to find out what are the progress in the child that is taking place in a child, it should be the it is also the main aim of doing assessment. To discuss the capacities, potential, strengths and challenging areas of the child with the parents. Yes, to give feedback to the parents, to make parents aware about the progress of the child. This is also a aim of assessment. So 2, 3, 4, these 3 options are correct. Let us find out 2, 3, 4, this option. Then question number 8, which of the following is central to the concept of progressive education? Progressive education or pragmatic philosophy given by John Dewey, we all know that. What is the central concept? Textbook centric learning? No, this is completely against textbook centric learning. Belief in the capability and potential of every child? Yes, you can say that. Standard instruction and assessment? No, not standardized assessment. This is particular to children specific learning, or children specific education is the progressive education. Extrinsic motivation and uniform assessment parameters? No, motivation should be intrinsic. According to the motivation level of the child, you have to modify or you have to design your teaching process. That was progressive education. So correct option is option 2, belief in the capability and potential of every child. Then question number 9, to understand individual differences in the development, it is important to do what? You have to understand the individual difference, the differences among the individuals. You have to do what? To look at the inherited characteristics that give each person a special start in life. Will you rely on the inherited characteristics to find out the individual difference, or to look at the environmental factors, or to consider the maturation of the body, or to consider both inherited characteristics as well as the environmental factors? This is the correct option, because individual differences come from both inherited characteristics as well as environmental factors. Then question number 10, which of the following is not, emphasize on the word not, is not a principle of development? So let us read this. Individuals develop at different rates. Correct. This is correct. This is a principle of development. Development is relatively orderly. Okay. Development takes place gradually over a period of time. Correct. Exact course in nature development determined by the at the time of birth itself. No, you can't determine. This is not a principle of development. So which one of the following is not a principle of development? This one. Then several research studies show that teachers have more overall interaction with boys than girls. What is the correct explanation for this? So why the teachers are having more interaction with boys than with girls? Because is this because boys have much more academic capabilities than girls? No, you can't say this. All are equal. Boys need more attention than girls. Why should that be? No. This is an example of gender bias in teaching. Yeah, boys are easier to manage than girls. No. Boys are rather tougher to manage. So this is actually the gender biasness, that teachers are focusing on the development of boys only. This is gender biasness. Then 12, the ability to come up with original and divergent solutions to a problem in a primary is the primary characteristic of what? So you are coming up with original and divergent solution. So this is, without looking at the options, we can say that this is creativity. Okay, so as a characteristic of not egocentric, not impaired, not children with learning disability, no, this is creative children. Then let us check question number 13. What instructional adaptations should a teacher make while working with students who are visually challenged? Look, when students are visually challenged, there is blind or partially blind, what you should do, in which you will modify your teaching activity or your classroom transaction so that can be helpful for them. Speak clearly and use a lot of touch and feel materials. You can do that because students are blind or partially blind, so one of the way to interact with them is to speak clearly, because he or she is not watching you. So if you speak clearly from your words, from your voice, they will understand the materials. Or you can also make them touch and feel the materials. What you are teaching, you can make them to have a feel or have a touch of those things. You can do this. Use a variety of visual representations. What is the use of visual presentation for the blind? Because they are not seeing anything. Orient herself so that the students can watch her closely. Watching, seeing, visual presentation, these are not appropriate for blind people. Focus on variety of written tasks, especially worksheets. No, correct option is this one, option 1. Then question number 14, cooperative learning. Cooperative learning and peer tutoring is dash in an inclusive education. In an inclusive classroom, cooperative learning and peer tutoring, what is the use of those? Should be actively promoted, should be actively discouraged. You can't discourage this, you should promote this. Should be occasionally used, should not be used. Actually, peer tutoring and that one cooperative or collaborative learning in an inclusive classroom should be actively promoted. This is a good technique of handling inclusive classroom. And then question number 15, which of the following is most important in an inclusive education? Uniform instruction, standardized testing, inclusive classroom. So most important, uniform instruction, no, because in an inclusive classroom there are so much diversity, so much needs and demands. So uniform instruction will not suit all. Standardized testing will not suit all. Promoting competitive learning, never. Individualized education plan. Your education plan should be individualized, should be according to the needs and demands of each and every children. This is what you should do in inclusive classroom, option 4. Then question number 16, which of the following is correctly matched pair of learners and their primary characteristics? Read them very carefully. Hearing impaired children who are hearing impaired, who cannot hear, cannot comprehend visual information, nothing to do with visual, because one who cannot hear can see something. So this is not the correct option. Dyslexic, lack reading and writing fluency. Yes, dyslexic is someone who cannot read properly. So one who are not being able to read properly will have some problem in writing as well. So this should be the correct option. Let us check 3 and 4. Creative learners, hyperactive, show in completing work. Yes, they are very much active. Attention deficit learners, high motivation, can sustain attention for long. No. Creative learners are not hyperactive. Hyperactive is a disease. So most matched pair is dyslexic learner who lack reading and writing fluency, option 2. Then we go to question number 17, which of the following does not result in meaningful facilitation of learning? Facilitation of learning means giving support. So when which of the following is not a good support to learning? Providing support to learning, facilitation of learning. Connecting new knowledge to pre-existing knowledge is very much good technique of providing facilitation. Promoting repetition and recall. Use of examples and non-examples, yes, this will facilitate learning. Encouraging multiple ways of looking at a problem. This is a good technique of facilitating the learning. But promoting repetition and recall, this is not facilitating learning, because you are doing something and you are asking the students to do the same thing, or you are asking them to recall of facts. So this is not providing a situation where they can think creatively, and this is not a facilitation of learning. Option 2. Then question number 18. Which of the following would not be consistent with a constructivist environment? In a constructivist environment, remember, and not, emphasizing the word not, which you can't do in a constructivist environment. Students are given frequent opportunities to engage in complex, meaningful and problem based. This you can do in a constructive, this you should do in a constructivist environment. Then students work collaboratively and are given support to engage in task oriented dialogue with each other. Yes, this is a good technique of constructivist classroom. Then teachers elicit students' ideas and experience in relationship to key topics and planned teaching plan. It should be planned teaching, learning, elaborate to restructure their knowledge. Yes, this you should do in a constructivist classroom. What you should not do, let us check question option 4. Teacher employs specific end of the term assessment strategies and give feedback on products rather than process. No, they are giving feedback on products rather than process. So you are not doing the constructivist type of thing, because in a constructive classroom you should focus on the processes, because you are giving an environment where the students are thinking, students are making so much cognitive processes. So you should facilitate that. You should not emphasize on the products only. So this is not a thing to do in a constructivist classroom. Okay, then question number 19. A teacher should encourage students to set what rather than what? The teacher should encourage students to set learning goals rather than performance goals. Yeah, performance goals rather than learning goals. Look, you should set learning goals rather than performance goals. This can be correct option, not performance goal, learning goals. Failure avoiding goals, mark seeking goals, you should not do. Failure avoiding goals and mark seeking goals is not a learning type of thing. Mark seeking goals, failure avoiding goals, should you encourage your students to get marks only? No, you will encourage to learn rather than performance, rather than getting marks. This option 1 is the correct option. Then question number 20. Which of the following are examples of effective learning strategies? Okay, setting goals and timetables. Yes. Marking organizational charts and concept maps. Yes, very much good technique of learning. Thinking of examples and non-examples. Correct. Explaining to a peer. Very good. Self-questioning. Yes, these all 5 are good strategies of learning. Let's check the options. Yes, this one, all 5. Then let us check question number 21. Which of these is an example of extrinsic motivation? Extrinsic, remember, motivation was of 2 types, intrinsic and extrinsic. Extrinsic means motivation from outside. So what are the options? I enjoy doing my homework because it is so fun. You are getting fun in doing your homework. So this is intrinsic motivation, because you are getting motivation from yourself, from within yourself. So this is intrinsic. I learn so much when I do my homework. Intrinsic. Doing homework makes me understand my concepts better. This is intrinsic. I complete my homework because the teacher gives us marks for each assignment. So this is the motivation he is getting from the teachers. So this is extrinsic motivation. Then in a primary classroom, a teacher should, what a teacher should do in a primary classroom? Should he give only examples, or should he give only non-examples? Should he give both examples and non-examples? not give any examples and non-examples. This is very interesting question. What a teacher should do in a primary classroom, remember. So to make everything very much clear to students, a teacher should do what? He should give both examples and non-examples so that the students can understand that this is the example of that concept and this is not an example of this concept. They can compare and understand better in a better way. This the teacher should do. Then question number 23. Which of the following strategies would promote meaning making? Meaning making in children. Meaning making. Exploration and discussion. Transmission of information. Use punitive measures. Uniform and standardized testing. Look, the students are doing the meaning making. They are to understand the concept of something. So you can't transmit the information only. No. Then use punitive measures is a never good option. Uniform and standardized testing will not help them in meaning making. So exploration and discussion, this is the correct option. This will help the students in meaning making to understanding the concept. Then question number 24. Children's errors and misconceptions. Errors and misconceptions are what? Are a significant step in the teaching learning process. Yes, this is correct. Are a hindrance and obstacle? No. Errors and misconceptions are never hindrance and obstacles, because this is the way you learn. Should be ignored in the teaching learning process, should never be ignored. Rather, the teacher should find them out and rectify them. This signifies the children's capabilities and far inferior than the adults. No, no, no. The correct option is errors and misconceptions are a significant step in the teaching learning process. Then question number 25. In the constructivist frame, child is viewed as what? Remember, in constructivist theory, miniature adult who is less than adult in all aspects such as size, cognition and emotion. This is not what viewed under constructivist classroom. Tabula rasa or blank slate. No, this is a very ancient concept. This is a teacher centric learning, that children are viewed as a tabula rasa or blank slate, where in which you are to pour the knowledge. No, this is not the constructivist way. Then a passive being who can be shaped and molded into any form through conditioning. No, this conditional learning. The children are not passive. A problem solver, scientific investigator. Yes, constructivist classroom says that students are problem solver and scientific investigator. Then question number 26. A teacher's role while using cooperative learning. Cooperative learning means learning in groups. So teacher will make groups of students where they can learn cooperatively. So what should be teacher's role in a cooperative learning? In her class is to be silent spectator and let children what they want to know. His role is not completely silent and allow students whatever they want to do. No, is to leave the class and let children work on their. No, no, no. He or she should be present in the class. The role of teacher in a cooperative classroom is to facilitate the learning, providing the correct situation. Is to support and monitor each group. Yes, support them and monitoring them. Is to support the group which has the bright and talented. No, no, no. Support everyone, monitor everyone, providing situation. So option 3 is the correct option. Then question number 27. Which of the following statements denotes the relationship between development and learning correctly? Read the statement very carefully. Development and learning are not related. They are very much related. Learning takes place irrespective of development. No. Development is a key to learning, because without development, learning cannot occur. Rate of learning far exceeds the rate of development. No. They go side by side. Development and learning are interrelated and interdependent. Yes, development and learning are interrelated and interdependent. Then according to Piaget, specific psychological structures, organized ways of making sense of experience are called, we all know that there is schemas. There are some mental structure, as Piaget's theory we have found, that the child is born with. Then question number 29, with an appropriate question or suggestion, the child's understanding can be extended far beyond the point which she could have reached alone. Read very carefully. With an appropriate question suggestion means you are to provide scaffolding. The children's understanding can be extended beyond the point which she could have reached alone. So something which she can't reach alone, you are making him or her to reach that by providing support. So what you are doing actually? You are making the students to reach the zone of proximal development. Okay, this question has come from Vygotsky's social constructivism. You are making them to reach the zone of proximal development, not equilibration, not conservation, not intelligence. Okay, last question for today. According to Lev Vygotsky, basic mental capacities are transformed into higher cognitive process primarily through. So, according to Lev Vygotsky, how mental capacities are transformed to higher cognitive capacities through rewards and punishment? No, Lev Vygotsky was not a this question. This way is given by Skinner. Social interaction, yes. Lev Vygotsky is a social constructivism. He always emphasized on social interaction. Social interaction makes the people learn something. Stimulus response, no. This is behaviorism. Adaptation and organization, this is Piaget's theory. So social interaction.